We'll be there.
Garrett.
Yeah, I got it.
So
I agree.
we're live on YouTube now, and enjoy the time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Anything you
John.
need, just text me, Fernando.
Okay, I will.
You can start now.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Bem, Garrett, I will start speaking in Portuguese, okay? So, and I'll do a little translation after finishing with the Portuguese, okay?
Okay.
Ok. Bem, pessoal, boa noite a todos, né? Como sempre, um prazer estar aqui com vocês para falar de marcenaria, para trazer gente da marcenaria, né? E hoje a gente tem o prazer de estar aqui com Garrett Heck, né? Que era uma das pessoas cujo trabalho eu admirava na Fine Woodworking, né? Via peças maravilhosas, os artigos dele, né? Artigos técnicos extremamente profundos, muito interessantes, né? E era uma das pessoas que eu queria trazer para a gente aqui no Brasil, para a gente conhecer e tal, né? E para falar um pouco da carreira e tal. Então, o objetivo nosso hoje é entrevistar o Garrett. Na realidade, eu vou fazer pouquíssimas perguntas para deixar o máximo de tempo para vocês fazerem perguntas através do chat do YouTube. Ok? Então, a gente tem um outro computador aberto aqui. Aí, por gentileza, sintam-se à vontade para fazer as perguntas. De tempos em tempos, eu dou um stop na explicação, peço um tempo para o Garrett e eu vou fazendo as traduções das perguntas de vocês para eles. Tá? Então, para quem não conhece o trabalho do Garrett, né, basta ir no Google e colocar lá Garrett Heck, Garrethhack, tá? O site dele, né, garrethhack.com, e aí vocês vão ver peças maravilhosas, né, e que mostram um trabalho de mais de 40 anos em marcenaria. So Garrett, I was explaining to the guys that from time to time we do our best to bring people that work as woodworkers around the world, and that these people, they have an expressive work and something to be shown, something to be taught, and that's a huge pleasure having you here with us today. And
well, thank you. It's my pleasure too.
Okay. And from time to time, I will do a little stop so that I can translate the questions from the guys, and they are going to use YouTube chat to ask the questions, and then I'll translate it from Portuguese to English, and then I will translate your answer to the guys, okay? So I will start, and I'll tell the guys in Portuguese the questions that I'm gonna do, but basically, if you could tell us about your trip, if I'm allowed to ask, to say this way, your trip in woodworking, how you started, and how your career, how you are developing your career since the beginning, okay? And tell us about your story. Então, pessoal, eu disse ao Garrett, né, para ele explicar como tem sido essa viagem dele na marcenaria e para falar sobre a carreira dele, porque efetivamente ele ganha vida como marceneiro e também como fazendeiro. Ele exerce as duas atividades, tá? Okay, Garrett, go ahead.
Well, I went to university and studied architecture and engineering.
Okay.
And when I graduated, I moved to the north of the U.S. in where I live now, and I started doing carpentry work. And then a couple years later, 1975, I started making a living building furniture, just trying to make furniture. Just said I was going to do it. And then in 76, 8, I went to Boston to study furniture making at a very, very good school. No longer there, but an excellent school with sort of modern techniques. It wasn't traditional, it was much more modern. How's that?
Okay.
Enough?
Ok. Então, pessoal, o Garrett começou, né? Ele estudou arquitetura e engenharia, né? E ele começou trabalhando em 1975 como carpinteiro e trabalhou como carpinteiro de 75 até 78, quando ele começou a trabalhar como fazendo marcenaria efetivamente, né? Produzindo móveis. E Garrett, when did you move, or when did you live in Boston in order to study woodworking there?
In the 2 academic years of 78 and 79.
Oh, okay.
So the spring of 80, in May of 80, I graduated. It was 2 extra years. They weren't ones I was getting credit for in terms of, advanced degrees or whatever. I just studied in the shop every day, just built furniture. We had to have a challenge to build a chair or build a case of drawers. And I would go to the museums and study the old furniture. And I did classes where I was learning about history and various things. I'd already had a degree, so I didn't care about that. I cared about the furniture.
Okay. And it happened in Boston?
Yes.
Any relationship between the school where you were and North Bennet Street School, or no relationship?
No relationship whatsoever. No, it was North Bennet is traditional, and this was not. We did a lot of bending and much more modern designs, traditional joinery, but we pushed it much further. Okay,
so free design.
Free design, but that was the most important thing that I learned was design, because there were about 100 people in these programs. Some were doing pottery, some were doing fabric, some were doing printing on fabric, some were doing metalworking, and some were doing woodworking. And we would all talk about design and critique each other.
Wow. So it was like, for instance, the work that we see in Penland.
The what?
There is I would say a craft school in the United States, Penland.
Oh, Penland.
I think the name,
no, it's much.
No?
It's not like that. It was it like that, but it was a university. So it was university. So some people were getting degrees, but I was just studying furniture. But the thing about it was that you had all these different people inputting. When you put up a piece of furniture for a review or critique, we called it, all these people would speak.
So you had like 100 people discussing design and all aspects?
Maybe 30, maybe 30.
30, okay.
But that's enough.
Ok. Então, pessoal, em 78 e 79, ele teve a chance, né, de estudar a marcenaria numa universidade, né? Esse curso, segundo ele, não existe mais, mas fez uma tremenda diferença na carreira dele, porque era um curso muito voltado para design, né? Então, eles tinham liberdade para criar, para desenhar. Aí eu perguntei para ele sobre uma escola muito famosa que tem em Boston, chamada North Bennet Street School, né? E eu perguntei se tinha alguma relação, ele falou que não, que a escola, a North Bennet Street School, tem uma abordagem muito mais tradicional, são técnicas mais tradicionais de marcenaria, né? Mas que você não vê coisas, por exemplo, como dobra de madeira e tal, e essa abertura de horizontes em termos de design que ele tinha no programa dele. E, no caso, nessa universidade, você tinha gente mexendo com impressão em tecidos, você tinha gente trabalhando com cerâmica, né? Mais de 100 pessoas em diferentes programas. No caso do programa voltado para marcenaria e design e marcenaria, então eles apresentavam um projeto, cerca de 30 pessoas comentavam, discutiam, criticavam os projetos, né? Okay, Garrett, go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to emphasize, Fernando, that you can learn to be a good furniture maker in terms of to put joints together and to smooth the surfaces, but design is very, very hard. design is a constant process, and this really got me going. It was very demanding in terms of that.
Okay.
So when I left there, I came to where I live now.
Okay.
I bought a piece of land, and we built a house, and we built some barns, and we started to farm. We bought some animals, and this is where, and I didn't build this shop. I built another shop, and then I built this shop starting in 1993, I think, or 1994. I started building.
Ok. Comentário, pessoal, que ele fez é o seguinte, né? Que você pode aprender técnicas de marcenaria, como fazer juntas, né, encaixes bem feitos, como deixar uma superfície lisa, mas que design é um processo completamente diferente, porque é um processo que exige muito de você, exige um trabalho contínuo, né? Então é como se fosse uma outra área de conhecimento na qual você tem que atuar. Uma vez que ele concluiu esse programa, né? Ele saindo de lá, ele comprou a porção de terra na qual ele vive hoje, né? E aí ele construiu a casa dele, construiu alguns celeiros, né? E construiu uma primeira oficina, e em 1994, entre 93 e 94, ele construiu a oficina que vocês veem aí na tela. Go ahead, Garrett.
So all that time since I went to school, and I've been building furniture and getting more skilled and having more quality of commissions. So I mixed my time between, at least before the pandemic, teaching about a third of the time and making furniture about 40%, and writing and those sorts of things for, talking about the subject of furniture making about a third of the time. It's the biggest part is making, but I do these other things as well. Since the pandemic, that's changed.
Ok. Então, como é que tem sido a vida dele, né, hoje? Basicamente, 30% do tempo, né, um terço do tempo, ele emprega ensinando marcenaria, 40% do tempo ele emprega fazendo mobiliário, né, fazendo móveis, né, peças de marcenaria, e o restante do tempo escrevendo e falando sobre marcenaria. Então é mais ou menos isso, ou seja, 40% do tempo fazendo móveis, né, fazendo o que ele chama de furniture, né, mesas, cadeiras, etc. E o resto do tempo ou ele está dando aula, né, ou então ele está escrevendo ou fazendo apresentações sobre marcenaria. Go ahead, Garrett.
So the commissions that I get come from meeting people where I exhibit my work. And also, I've been part of a group of furniture makers that we call this area New England, and mostly the states of New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine and Massachusetts. There's a lot of history of furniture making, a huge history, it goes way, way back. And there's a group of makers that I'm part of that shows our work together. And we do a very, very beautiful catalog of our work every year that we put up for auction. Well, this is pre-pandemic. We would every year have an auction and sell 20 pieces of furniture. The group's about 25 people, about 20 pieces would be put up. And we would have a top-notch place to show them, dinner. We have a small auction we call a silent auction. You know what that is? Where you bid on small items, maybe up to $1,000. And so it's basically a way to put really beautiful works in front of a very good audience, potential buyers. And that taught me a lot about what I was trying to sell. Because
Garrett, sorry, may I interrupt and translate this part?
Yes.
I will ask you some questions regarding New England, this region. It's it includes Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts, and
Vermont,
Vermont.
where I am. I'm in Vermont.
Okay.
Which means green mountains. We have the green mountains here.
Okay.
It's very green here, but different than Brazil. You're green year round. We're very white today. When I talked to you the other day, we had no snow. Now we have this much snow.
Okay.
So New England is the original 13 states. No, it's not really the original 13, but it's New York is included and Rhode Island. And so it's not just those, but the ones in our group are Maine, Vermont, and mostly New Hampshire.
Oh, New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Yeah, and Massachusetts.
Okay.
So we would have an auction. I could show you the catalog. Maybe at the end I'll get one. But every year we'd have this beautiful catalog. And we got a lot of people to come. And we got good bidding. But the truth is that about half the pieces did not sell. Okay. They did not reach a price that the seller, that the maker wanted to sell them for.
Okay.
And I was part of the auction for 18 years.
Wow.
And I sold all my pieces but one, which is a very good record.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Então, aspecto interessante, né, muito interessante, né, ele, nessa região chamada New England, que inclui Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts e New Hampshire, há um grupo de marceneiros, né, cerca de 25 pessoas, e eles trabalham em conjunto para preparar um lote de peças que vai a leilão. Então, eles têm compradores que têm poder aquisitivo para comprar peças de marcenaria de qualidade, né? E então eles fazem uma exibição num lugar bacana, tem um catálogo bem montado sobre os produtos, né? E esses eventos atraem esses compradores, né? E nem todas as peças são vendidas. E ele tem trabalhado com esse grupo desde há 18 anos. E ele falou que em todo esse período ele vendeu todas as peças a menos de uma peça, e que esse índice é um índice espetacular, né? Nem todo mundo consegue vender suas peças, mas ele tem conseguido esse desempenho. Go ahead, Garrett, please.
So what was good about this auction was that I could make a speculative piece every year. In other words, just build what I really wanted to build for no other reason that I wanted to explore design or technique or whatever, and then put it up for auction and then sell it. So that, you know, I have 2 pieces of my own furniture for sale. Some of my other members have 10 pieces. I've sold everything except for these 2 pieces. And they're 2 very small pieces. One's right here in the shop. I could show you when I'm done. But
okay.
So it taught me a lot about what kind of things to make, what people liked, and what people would spend a good amount of money for. So we're talking about, you know, selling pieces for $10,000 or $12,000 or $15,000. So, you know, expensive pieces. I don't know how that relates to Brazil, but that's a big number. You know,
okay.
that's more than some people would make in 2 or 3 months of work. And, you know, we're selling them to people that are businessmen and lawyers and doctors and that kind of thing. So that's different, but we're selling things for good money. And so it taught me a lot about what people desired and also prices, because some people would say, well, my piece is worth this amount of money, and they wouldn't sell it. And I would say, I'm going to sell it. I don't care about what you get. We had reserves. Is that familiar? A reserve? In other words,
no.
Let's say I had a piece of furniture and I say, I want to sell this for $5,000. I won't sell it for less than $5,000. Well, if it comes up for auction and the auctioneer says, does anybody pay $5,000? And there's nobody in the room says yes. Then he says, what about 4,000? And no one says yes. And then 3,000. And finally, they just take the piece away. It's very embarrassing. I would say no reserves. And it would go to 6,000 or 7,000 with no reserves. My work would.
Okay.
So I learned a lot from that. that to how to value my work and what kind of pieces to make that people would like. And I can speak about that when we start again.
Ok. Bem, então, ele falou, né, das peças que são vendidas, né, normalmente, em preços, né, nesses leilões, que alcançam de 5 a 15 mil dólares, né? E que isso, às vezes, uma peça de 15 mil dólares, por exemplo, é mais do que algumas pessoas fazem em 12 ou 3 meses de trabalho como um marceneiro, né? Então, as peças alcançam valores significativos, né? Eu não perguntei a ele quanto tempo ele leva, mas uma peça de 15 mil dólares, se a gente pensar, 15 mil dólares são 75 mil reais, aproximadamente, né? Então, não é um valor desprezível, né? As pessoas que compram são normalmente, quer dizer, existem advogados, homens de negócio, etc., que fazem compras dessas peças. E ele citou também que, alguns casos, né, a peça, que não é o caso dele, e que as peças são oferecidas por 5 mil, aí ninguém se interessa, aí eles baixam o preço para 4 mil, para 3 mil, e às vezes, mesmo baixando o preço, a peça não sai, e isso nunca aconteceu com ele, nunca foi o caso dele. Go ahead, Garrett.
Okay, but I want you to understand that being a furniture maker, as I have, the kind of work that I do, it's been a good life, but you have to work very hard. It's not an easy way to make a living.
Yes.
I've raised 5 children, and all of them been to university, and we own our house, and we own 2 cars, and we have a good life, but we had to work very hard. So I can build beautiful things, but I have to find the right market to sell them, the right people to sell them. So,
Okay.
And the auction was just a really good way to sell good pieces, mostly that I wanted to speculate on, to build because I wanted to build them.
Ok, just a minute.
Yeah.
Então, ele diz, pessoal, que, bem, ele criou 5 filhos, todos eles foram para a universidade, né? E lá a universidade é paga e é cara, né? E, aliás, tem sido muito cara, o crescimento de preço de universidade, né? Um estudo de 3º grau nos Estados Unidos subiu barbaramente. Ele tem 2 carros, ele tem uma vida confortável, mas, segundo ele, é confortável, mas exige muito trabalho, né? Nada que nós aqui no Brasil não estejamos acostumados a ter, em termos de trabalho. Go ahead, Garrett.
So part of that, and this is a little bit of a side path, but I've been sawing my own lumber for 40 plus years. And that's what I usually use as my own lumber. And that makes it so that I can get more value out of the pieces. And I built my shop, and I built our house, and I built the barns, and I built everything because we couldn't afford to have anybody do it. And plus, like, I have the skills to do it. So, and I sharpen all my own tools. You know, I sharpen my planer knives and the joiner knives, all those things. Even my carbide saws, I don't send them out. I do it because it's just keeps the money here. So a lot of people want to be furniture makers, and you can have a great fun life doing it, but it's hard to make a good living doing it. Very few people make a good living, even in the US. Very few people.
Ok. Então, bem, ele acabou de dizer, pessoal, que poucas pessoas têm uma vida boa nos Estados Unidos sendo um marceneiro, que é uma vida muito difícil. Agora, no caso dele, né, ele trabalha muito, né, e esse trabalhar muito significa, por exemplo, faz mais de 40 anos que ele produz a própria madeira, ele mesmo corta a própria madeira, ele mesmo afia todas as suas ferramentas. Então, ele afia as facas, ele afia, inclusive, os discos de serra, ele afia tudo, tá? Para quê? Para manter o dinheiro dentro da casa dele, ou seja, não sai dinheiro para fora, tudo é feito com o trabalho dele. E essa é uma forma dele economizar e aí produzir um resultado melhor como marceneiro. Go ahead, Garrett.
So one of the things that I've learned about my work that is valuable is that I want it to be fun. I want people to really enjoy having it as part of their lives. So the details that I use, secret drawers, how it functions. People always say you make fun furniture. Now it's not like cartoons, but it enhances their life.
Ok.
Okay?
Just a minute. Então, pessoal, ele disse o seguinte, né? Que, primeiro, ele quer que as pessoas tenham prazer, se divirtam com o mobiliário que ele faz. Então, por exemplo, gavetas secretas, né? Ele põe gavetas secretas nos móveis que ele faz e as pessoas dizem, nossa, que prazer descobrir essas coisas. Então, as pessoas têm prazer, as pessoas se divertem com os móveis que ele faz. Ele falou, não é como se fosse um desenho animado, né? Mas é assim, surpresas e coisas que encantam as pessoas e adicionam valor para a vida das pessoas. Go ahead, Garrett.
Well, I think that's the bulk of what I would say about my career. It's because I love what I do, and I think it shows up in the furniture. And I take a lot of care. I do the best work always, every time. And I always try to teach the best work. I always say, we might not do the best work we can do in some class, but know that I'm going to try and teach you those methods. I want to always teach the best way to do things. Now, it's not there's many ways to do things, but I want this forget that, Fernando. There's good ways to do things, but I always try to achieve and work to a very high standard myself. And I think that my students recognize that. They appreciate that when they watch me work. One of the classes that I did for many years was in this shop. And there would be usually 10 men. I had some women sometimes, but mostly 10 men. And they would actually come and watch me work for a whole Saturday. And we would be doing a project together. They would watch me that Saturday, and the next month they'd come back with that part of their project done. And that was the most successful they felt of any of the classes they'd ever done, because they could just really see how I did it. Not, some sort of a magic show. It's the real deal. And if I made mistakes, they saw the mistakes. Okay. They love those mistakes.
Bem, ele estava dizendo, né, que basicamente ele já disse tudo o que ele gostaria de dizer, né, embora eu vá fazer algumas perguntas para ele, né, mas que ele tem prazer em fazer o que faz, tem prazer em viver do jeito que ele vive, como marceneiro, e que ele costumava dar aulas nessa oficina e vinha um grupo de 10 pessoas, principalmente homens, e esse curso era assim, as pessoas vinham num sábado assistir ele trabalhar e no sábado seguinte voltavam para repetir basicamente os processos, as técnicas que ele ensinava. E que o que ele fazia era a coisa real, aquilo que ele faria mesmo que ele estivesse sozinho fazendo alguma peça de mobiliário. E quando aconteciam erros ou alguns problemas, eles aconteciam, ele mostrava, né? Então a coisa real, né? A vida real acontecendo e ele mostrando para as pessoas, né? Era isso que ele fazia. Garrett, in part of your presentation, if I may call it this way, you told that you are going to teach or talk about some details to help us making a living as a furniture maker. Yeah, would you say that the auction and the idea of doing what pleases you the most and putting fun or surprises or
surprises, that's another one. Yeah,
surprises or details in your furniture and showing a mixture of beauty and high quality. This is the main components that help you to sell your furniture?
I think it's a part. I think it's this part. I mean, I think that beautiful shapes, beautiful wood, and then as I was talking about the auction, the form. Are you trying to sell a chest of drawers or a side table or some sort of cabinet or what, some forms are much more desirable to people. So that's something that I think. I mean, but I put the same effort into whatever I'm building. So let me just explain this to you, that the auction was a chance to build one speculative piece a year to sell at the auction, or to try to sell at the auction. But the reality is that people come to me and say, would you design and build something for me? I have a couple, a woman and man, coming tomorrow to meet with me. I've never met them, but we've had some communication with email and telephone. They want to commission some work. I don't know what they're going to commission. So I'm going to just put out things and talk and find out what they want. But the most part, the things that I make for people over the last 10 or 15 years, it's less like specific, I need this. It's more like, I want a beautiful piece and this might be the one I want. I feel very lucky. People come to me and say, I want a piece of your work. Make me something. That's a very enviable position to be in.
Yeah.
But it took 30 years to get there.
Look, I heard something very similar from Michael Fortune. Okay, he told us that it took him lots of years of short on cash, suffering, until he get to do what he really wanted to do. Yeah.
So I know Michael. I know Michael quite well.
Yeah. So I think you are maybe at the same position.
Yes.
I mean,
we are.
way of living. Yeah.
Yes,
doing
we are.
what you want, doing what you love, and having pleasure and having fun doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I could tell you. You want to translate all that, or want me to? Or should I keep talking?
Sorry. It's gonna seem like a private conversation, instead of an interview. Sorry. Então, pessoal, eu perguntei ao Garrett, né, se o conjunto de que conjunto de coisas o ajudam a ter uma vida como marceneiro, a vender, né? E ele falou que os leilões dos quais ele participa, o fato de desenhar peças bonitas e que tem surpresas nela, né? E mais, a alta beleza, e quando ele fala de beleza da madeira e beleza do design. E a alta qualidade, esse conjunto de coisas o ajuda a vender, não só no leilão, mas também a conseguir clientes que venham encomendar peças específicas com ele, né? E que levou 30 anos para ele chegar a essa posição, né? Mas hoje ele desenha, ele faz o que ele gosta, o que ele quer. Ele estava comentando, inclusive, que amanhã ele vai receber, eu não me lembro agora se duas pessoas que vão pedir encomendas para ele, vão encomendar peças, e não é que a pessoa chegue com um desenho, uma coisa específica, não. As pessoas têm uma ideia que ele vai materializar em formato de um mobiliário e tal. Ou seja, as pessoas estão vindo mais pelo nome dele, pelo estilo de móvel que ele produz, né? Okay, Garrett, go ahead.
So one quick story.
Yep.
It sounds wonderful. Someone comes to you and says, here's a bunch of money and build me a beautiful piece. But someone came to me who already had bought a piece of furniture and wanted another. He said, I don't care what you build. I don't care how much it costs. I don't even care if I own it you can keep it and show it and that kind of thing. And I don't care when you do it. And it couldn't be a better commission than that. But it was really,
Would you
really hard.
introduce me to this person?
It was really, really hard. You know why? Because I said, I'm going to push myself farther than I ever have.
Uh-huh.
And it took me 5 years, at least 5 years. And I had to build several pieces of furniture to try out the ideas.
Wow.
And when I actually built it, it wasn't that much fun because it was so challenging. Every day I would come into my shop, okay, how do I solve that problem? You know, it wasn't just an easy day. It was a challenge every single day. So there's a bad side to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Então, ele contou, pessoal, ele falou assim, ó, uma historiazinha aqui. Uma vez chegou uma pessoa para ele e falou assim, olha, eu não sei o que você vai construir, quando você vai construir, não quero nem saber quanto vai custar, mas eu quero que você faça uma peça para mim. E ele falou que levou 5 anos para resolver essa questão, porque ele fez várias peças, né, vários testes ao longo do caminho, e que, na realidade, a coisa ficou difícil porque o que era inicialmente para ser um prazer virou um desafio, né, um problema que ele tinha que resolver, né? Mas imagine uma situação como essa, né? Aí eu brinquei com ele, você não quer me botar em contato com a pessoa que chegou com esse trabalho, né? Garrett, we have some questions here. I'm gonna read the name of the person and I'll translate it to you, Tom. Okay? We have here Ivan Telmac Dantas. Okay, it's a very interesting name. Yeah, even for us Brazilians, this is a very different name, very original. And Ivan Telmac asks, it seems that lots of your pieces, they remind me of the shaker style. Okay, I don't know if you agree. And if that's true, what are the reasons that took you to use this style? And what do you think about the arts and crafts style of furniture?
Okay, I would say that this person, it's a man or woman?
A man.
Okay, I would say that I did work in the shaker influence for maybe my first 10 years. I definitely did. But I took it in a different direction. The shakers are quite, here, and I was pushing it, asymmetry and different proportions and different woods and those kinds of things, and different details that they never would use. Because I live in an area where the shakers lived. And it's a very strong influence here because there's some of their architecture left and some of their furniture left, especially in museums and things. But I would say the last 20 years, it's not shaker at all. It's very, very far from shaker. It's much more curves and much more different kinds of things. I still respect the shakers, but I just am not building in that venue anymore. Let me show you one thing.
Ok. Então, pessoal, enquanto o Garrett volta, ele disse que durante um tempo ele trabalhou usando o estilo shaker, porque inclusive a região em que ele mora, isso é algo muito forte, mas que isso aconteceu durante um período de tempo, mas que atualmente ele usa curvas, ele usa assimetria, coisa que numa peça shaker seria impossível de ser vista. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a little mock-up of a table, and you could say that it has some shaker influences, the little overhang and the way it's beveled, but the shakers would never do a little ripple like that. They never did a little ebony bead like that, and then the little ripple on the top as well. And the legs obviously are very, very different than they would do. So there's shaker ideas, but it's taken in a different way. That some influences don't go away. I love the little overhang and the bevel and that kind of thing. So, so arts and crafts. I like arts and crafts. I don't work in arts and crafts. The reason I don't work in arts and crafts is because it tends to be made out of oak. It's not a wood I love, but it grows beautifully on our land here and absolutely incredible trees. But it's also very heavy. And my style is much lighter. And that's another thing that people would often say at the auction. We love how light your pieces are. That you have a certain lightness about them.
Okay,
It's-
Garrett, sorry to interrupt. When
Don't worry about it.
when you say that oak is heavy, are you talking about the weight or about the perception of the wood? You know?
Well, to me, it's the perception and it's also the weight.
Okay.
But
okay.
but I work in plenty of heavy woods, but I don't. It's also it's a very grainy wood,
Okay.
and it's not. I don't love grainy woods. I love. I don't know if you can see it. The quarter sawn from that cherry. Do you see the quarter sawn in here? I love that. So I always try to build strength with lightness.
Okay.
It's very
Okay.
easy to build strength with heaviness.
Okay.
I try to go the other way. So this is kind of an example. This is this is quite light. This is just half a table, by the way. It's just a model to show my client. But
Okay.
it's a very light table when it's all done. It had a drawer in it too, by the way, secret drawer.
Okay. I wouldn't expect anything different from something secret. Okay.
So it's just a matter of preference.
Ok. Let me do some translation here, ok? Então, a pergunta do Ivan Telmac, né? Ele falou, né, que trabalhou no estilo shaker e tal, tinha comentado sobre isso, e ele mostrou esse mock-up, né? Em que você tem alguns detalhes shaker, como a pingadeira ou o chanfro, né? Que isso tem a ver com o estilo shaker, mas que, por exemplo, aquelas curvas na lateral da peça, o detalhe da madeira escura embaixo, o formato das pernas, isso não guarda nenhuma relação, absolutamente nenhuma relação com o estilo shaker, né? Ele comentou também sobre as formas, né? E sobre o fato dele usar outras madeiras, madeiras que traduzam leveza, né? Ele falou que, eventualmente, ele trabalha com madeiras pesadas, mas madeiras que deem a impressão de leveza. Ele não gosta de estilo pesado. E ele gosta de peças leves, mas, ao mesmo tempo, resistentes. Ele falou, é muito fácil você fazer uma peça resistente, mas com componentes pesados. Mas o difícil é você fazer uma peça que exiba leveza usando madeiras não tão resistentes ou dimensões não tão, obviamente, resistentes. Go ahead, Garrett. Sorry.
I wonder if it'd be useful to sort of just show around my shop with, like I did the other night.
Okay, well, let's do it, and I'll get back to the questions afterwards. Let's see your
Because
shop. It will be a pleasure.
I think it explains a little bit about how I work.
Pessoal, ele vai mostrar a oficina dele, tá? Go ahead, Garrett.
I'm going to try to turn the camera here.
Okay.
So, first of all, it's night here, obviously, but this is where I work. This is the end of the shop where you see me, where I'm sitting. This is a big bench, very important. And then all around me are tools.
Okay.
I have really, really beautiful tools that I've collected over the years and written the 2 books about. And I have all these beautiful little English tools in here that I use. I use a lot of them. You see, I've got router bits too. And then this is the way the shop is laid out. I've got various machines and lots of space. I don't have any big projects going on right now. I can show you what I am working on, but I have basic big machines and lots and lots and lots of storage. You can see that this is sort of the way it's set up here.
Okay.
And I've got up that stairs as an office, and then that's my heat. We need to heat about 6 months of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we heat about 6 months of the year. So everything in this shop is wood. It's a wood floor that came off our land. The walls that got cherry trim. That all came off the land. This big door, it's 4-foot wide door. That's really important so I can get big projects in and out. And the ceiling is wood. Yes.
So sorry to interrupt you.
It's
to
okay.
interrupt you, but I got a question about this joiner. Is
Yes.
this a Watkin?
No, it's not a Watkin. It's I don't know who made it. It says the name on there, but it's what I call a pattern maker's joiner. It had a lot of attachments that goes on.
Yeah,
It
but
had
it's
like
what a beautiful machine. My
it is a
goodness.
beautiful machine. Yeah, I don't have a
Wow.
lot of machines, but I've got beautiful machines.
Uh-huh.
That's a new motor I put onto it. It had a really old motor.
Okay.
And then this bandsaw is a really beautiful machine. This is my most important machine. It's built in 1943, and it's just as beautiful as the day it was made. It's quiet. It's steady. And then I've got various things. I said I've got a little machinist lathe under there and a little turning lathe. I don't do a lot of turning, but I do some. You can see there's legs and various things that I do up there. And then this is that mortiser that I talked about. It's a slot mortiser for cutting mortises very quickly. This is not normally on there.
May I do some translation here?
Yes, yes.
Então, pessoal, ele tá falando sobre as máquinas que ele tem, né? Eu olhei a desempenadeira dele e eu pensei que fosse uma Wadkin, né? Que é uma marca que faz máquinas maravilhosas, né? Eu não sei se ainda existe, né? Por causa do estilo da máquina, achei que fosse um Wadkin, mas não é. Ele falou que essa serra de fita é de 1943, né? Ele falou que é uma máquina maravilhosa. Aí uma
This is a
serra
Wadkin.
circular, tá? Essa da Wadkin, tá aí, ó.
Yeah.
Né? E ele mostrou também o torno, né? Ele falou que não faz muito trabalho de torno, ele tem um torninho ali atrás e mostrou, né? E falou também, boa parte da oficina dele foi feita com madeira da propriedade dele, né? E falou, né? E lá eles precisam de aquecimento, então tem lá uma lareira, né? Aliás, eu não sei se é uma lareira, um sistema de aquecimento, porque 6 meses do ano eles precisam de aquecimento, porque senão não dá para ficar aí, né? Okay, Garrett, go ahead. Sorry.
Lots of drawers. So I just the last few days started a chair. And these are all the parts of the steam bent chair. I steam bent these a while ago, but I'm starting this chair. So these are the back legs and the crest rail. It'll be shaped a lot, but it's a curved, steam bent curve. Oh, by the way, this is red oak. You asked if I used red oak. This is a very good place to use oak. Because it's so strong.
Ok, então, pessoal, essas aí são peças de uma cadeira, né? As peças que vocês veem aí dobradas foram dobradas no vapor, tá? Ele falou que e no caso tem carvalho vermelho, né? Red oak, que ele está empregando na produção dessa peça, que ele falou que nesse caso, né? É uma madeira muito indicada para o que está sendo produzido, né?
If you can see, the grain is as straight as can be. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the grain is perfectly straight. So, yeah, this is what I'm working from. This is big chunks like this. Those are going to be some various parts. So, and I'm just doing the drawings. The drawings are over here under my coat. I've got a bunch of drawings started, and so, and these are the front legs over here that I was just working with at the end of the day. These are also steam bent in two directions. So I will develop the drawings and shape the pieces and build a chair. And it's one of these things that it's a commission, and I like the idea of doing chairs, but the reality is it's not a great way to it's not a great piece of furniture to make a living on, because chairs are so difficult. They take so much time. But
the same in Brazil, okay?
Yeah,
woodworkers hate chairs because people they do not give the right value, because they see a little piece, they think about just a few pieces of wood, but the amount of work is huge.
Because everything is curved, and all these curved parts have to come together. And So this involves doing some trial cuts and trial joints, and but I do it anyway because it's for a good client, and he's already commissioned a beautiful big piece, and I did it for him, and now he wants a chair.
Ok. Então, ele, aliás, pessoal, eu esqueci de comentar, tinha esquecido de comentar, ele mostrou lá as ferramentas manuais, né? Então, ele usa intensamente ferramentas manuais, né? Ele mostrou um armário só com ferramentas manuais inglesas, né? Ele havia comentado, né? E ele já havia conversado comigo, né? Que ele faz toda a parte de manutenção, afiação dessas ferramentas, ele faz um uso intenso de ferramentas manuais, e por fim, ele mostrou mais peças daquela cadeira que ele havia mostrado, estavam sobre a bancada dele, e ele falou que você viver de marcenaria fazendo cadeira não é um bom negócio, porque as pessoas não costumam valorizar. Falei que aqui no Brasil é a mesma coisa, mas ele disse que, no caso, esse pedido foi feito por um cliente, que é um cliente excelente, né, que já comprou uma outra peça dele e encomendou a cadeira, por isso ele a está fazendo. Ok? Garrett, just a minute, I'm going to check the questions here, okay?
Okay.
We have Antonio Claudio, yeah. He is asking, well, here in Brazil, especially after the COVID and so on, yeah. There are some words that we cannot use in YouTube because the transmission is interrupted, okay? Some kind of mysterious thing. Anyway, before the pandemic, we had prices, let's say X, and after the pandemic, the wood prices, they got like 3X, 4X, and so on. He's asking if you are facing the same problem in the United States regarding prices for the wood going skyrocketing.
Yes, but because I have so much of my own wood, and I bought so much wood over the years that I've been storing, it doesn't affect me.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know, if I want to build a piece out of cherry or birch or maple or whatever, I just go to my wood and take out the wood.
Okay.
But I did buy a little bit of wood for a project for one of the buildings, our buildings here, and I was shocked. It was about double. But we also, we're a big lumber producing state. We have a lot of forest. We're 93% forested.
Wow.
Yeah. It used to be 10% forested and everybody was growing sheep. And then around 1850, people went to the west and the land all grew back to trees.
Oh, good. Bem, ele não sofre tanto os problemas de preço de madeira porque ele produz boa parte da madeira que ele consome, né? Então, isso não é problema para ele. Mas ele foi comprar a madeira e ele descobriu que o preço tinha dobrado. Ele precisou de um pouco de madeira e tal. Agora, hoje, ele está num estado em que é um grande produtor de madeira. 93% da área do estado é coberta por florestas. Essa cobertura era de só 10%. Mas por volta de 1850, muita gente foi para o oeste, né? Eu acredito que para a Califórnia, Corrida do Ouro, qualquer coisa assim. E aí houve um crescimento de novo das florestas. Garrett, just a question about history. You told that around 1850, you had the people going west. Was it related to the gold rush in California or something like it?
No, it wasn't related to that. It was related to people live in Vermont, been living in Vermont for about 300 years, a little more than 300 years.
Okay.
And it's hard to farm here because it's hilly, it's rocky. the climate is colder. So when they opened up all the big farms in the Midwest, where there was level land and it was rich, deep soil, they said, hey, let's not farm in that hard place anymore.
Okay.
So, and also we had a big war in the 1860, and that exposed people to all these other things that they hadn't seen. So people left, but not everybody left. It's still a very strong farming state, very strong farming communities.
Good.
So, I farm, so I'm one of them.
O que ele estava dizendo, pessoal, realmente eu não tenho todos os detalhes da história americana, né? Mas houve uma corrida do ouro para a Califórnia, e por isso que eu perguntei se tinha sido em 1850, ele falou que não. É que houve uma abertura para a ocupação de outras áreas que para a agricultura seriam muito mais favoráveis, e por isso um tanto da população foi para lá e tal. A agricultura é uma coisa muito difícil, né, no estado em que ele vive, em Vermont, né? Mas é um estado que tem uma produção agrícola forte, apesar de todos os problemas, né? Ele, por exemplo, trabalha também com agricultura na fazenda dele. Just a minute.
So let me add something. What Vermont is known for is cheese, very, very, very good cheese, beer. Some of the best beer in the world, they say, comes from Vermont, and maple syrup. You know maple syrup? Yes.
Yeah. Well,
we're the biggest producer of maple syrup.
Well, Brazilians, they do not know maple syrup, but cheese and beer, we love it.
Yeah, because we have a lot of dairy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of dairy.
Bem, ele está dizendo que Vermont é conhecido pela produção de queijo, cerveja e também pelo o xarope de bordo, né? Aquela árvore que é o símbolo do Canadá, né? E eles produzem, a árvore produz uma espécie de seiva muito doce, né? Que o pessoal usa para colocar em comida e tal, né? Parece mais ou menos com mel. Deixa eu ver aqui. I'm gonna check more questions, okay? Okay. Garrett, in your opinion, what are the key points to be a successful woodworker?
Ooh, I think we touched on them. Learn about design. Study furniture. All kinds of furniture. How is it made, and what are the details, and how does it work? And learn how to use hand tools.
Bem, então essa pergunta, né? O que é necessário para se tornar, para o marceneiro alcançar o sucesso? Então, ele falou, primeiro, estudar muito design, estudar muito mobiliário, como é que o mobiliário é feito, os detalhes, como é que cada peça de mobiliário funciona, e também saber usar de verdade ferramentas manuais. Tá?
And I would say just do it. Just keep doing it.
Tá. E o like Nike, just do it?
Yes. But I mean,
I know
it's like anything. You do it for year after year after year, and you get.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up.
Persevere. Persevere.
Yeah. Então, pessoal, ele está dizendo o seguinte, né? Mete a cara e faz. Não desiste, né? Vai atrás do que você quer fazer. Vai atrás do sonho, mete a cara, sangue nos olhos, faca nos dentes e manda bala, né? Perseverança. Ele não falou sangue nos olhos. Isso ele falou persevere, né? Aí eu traduzi para o português, né? Português do Brasil. Né?
There's one more, Fernando.
Yeah.
And that is learn to be able to talk to people about your work. Because
aprender a conversar com as pessoas sobre o que você faz, sobre o mobiliário que você faz. Então, you mean talking about the details, talking about the story behind
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Every time I make a piece of furniture that I have for this exhibition, I always have something that goes with it that shows how it was made.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
Então, todas as vezes que ele vai, por exemplo, para esses leilões ou para essas exibições, além de levar um móvel, ele leva algo que mostre como é que aquela peça foi feita.
this is a leg. It's gold, but it shows how I made it with an ivory bead and this ball that I turned. It's been in the sun, so it's very bleached, but it explains how that leg was made. Or this is a little piece of a cabinet, and I'm showing the way that it's made. There's abalone that goes into there. You know abalone, the shell.
Sorry, again?
Abalone.
I don't think so.
Abalone. It's a seashell.
Uh-huh.
It goes in here.
Well, maybe we have it. I really don't know.
You have it.
I must check. Do you mind spelling abalone? Ele vai mostrar. Então, pessoal, ele mostrou aí o detalhe de uma perna, né, com aquela esfera na ponta que ele torneou, e aí ele estava mostrando um outro detalhe de uma peça de mobiliário, né, de um armário. Okay. Oh, okay.
That's what it looks like in the
Okay, it's
wood.
like a mother of pearl or
Yes,
something like it.
but this is mother of pearl.
Okay.
Abalone is more brilliant, blue, and
Okay, I think we have it for sure.
so you can see the
Então,
blue in here and everything.
Perfect. Então, pessoal,
Okay.
isso aí é uma
That's abalone.
tá, eu não sei o nome disso em português, quer dizer, ele falou da madrepérola, ele mostrou um pedaço de madrepérola e um pedaço desse abalone, né? Então ele estava mostrando Garrett, do you mind showing that detail again? Oh, no. The piece from the no, sorry.
This.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
So what's
Wonderful.
interesting about this is it shows how it's made. You see that it's laminated because this was a curved molding.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
And then this is so it was quite curved.
Yeah.
This was a piece around a cabinet.
Okay.
And then this is piano keys, ivory piano keys.
Yeah.
And this is cherry that I ebonized to make it look like ebony.
Okay. Então,
So imagine
pessoal,
that beautiful blue in there going all the way around that edge.
então, olhem só, isso é uma parte de uma peça de móvel, é curvo, com todos esses detalhes. Então, em cima, ele colocou um detalhe como se fossem teclas de um piano, e aí ele pegou a cerejeira americana, que é uma madeira originalmente vermelha, parecida com... Ela lembra um cedro rosa um pouco mais vermelho, não na consistência, ela é mais pesada, e ele fez uma ebanização para ficar naquele tom escuro. Então, está ali aquele detalhe que ele mostra para um cliente, e isso faz parte de uma peça de mobiliário. Tá?
So Fernando,
yeah.
the point about this is next to the piece. This wasn't, but this, and it starts a conversation.
Okay, good. I got it. Então, ele tem uma peça de mobiliário pronto, né? Pode ser a peça que for, e aí junto ele coloca um detalhe, um componente, e aí isso faz com que as pessoas perguntem a respeito, e isso começa uma conversa. Então, é uma estratégia não só para mostrar a técnica, mas também para fazer com que as pessoas conversem com ele, e isso vai levar, ou pode levar, a uma venda, a uma relação comercial, né?
This is another one. You see that just a little piece, but it shows how it's made.
Okay.
And it's sort of like most people don't understand furniture making. They don't understand wood that much. And so you have to, I'm talking about potential clients.
I got it.
They know what they know. So you have to educate them, and you have to intrigue them. You have to
Okay.
draw them in.
Okay.
Okay.
Would
So
it
I have
be-
these.
Would it be coopering? This part, this piece?
This is coopering, yes.
Yeah.
And I've done a
Okay.
lot of coopering.
Yeah. Well, this year we are trying to have Adrian Ferrazuri here. Okay. And one of the techniques that he will be teaching is coopering. Yeah.
I didn't even know he did coopering.
Yeah, he does. He does. He has a very beautiful chair. I don't remember the name of the chair, but the seat is coopered, and he used a portable belt sand. Yeah, so he coopered the parts, but to get the curve, he prepared the machine with a kind of a curved surface under the sand so that he could sand it and get the shape. Yeah,
I would never, ever do that.
I know.
I have a curved plane that I would go down it. This is all cut with a curved plane.
Yeah, I knew.
And this too. This curves are all cut with curved planes.
Yeah, we have. I have one that I got from a friend, Stanley. I don't remember the number of it. Okay.
113.
113. That's it. That's it. Ok. Então, pessoal, ele mostrou ali, né, um detalhe de uma superfície curva, né? Essa superfície é obtida colando peças com superfícies inclinadas, né? Essa técnica é chamada de coopering, né? É uma das técnicas que o Adrian Ferrazzuti vai ensinar quando ele vier ao Brasil em junho, né? Se tudo der certo, se os planetas estiverem alinhados, etc. Aí ele falou que ele faz isso com planas curvas. Aí
This is what I like to use. These are just two of them.
Okay.
This one I fixed.
Okay.
Lignum vitae. You know lignum vitae?
Uh-huh.
And this is one that's got a little more curve.
Okay.
With beautiful, beautiful plane.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Então, essas são planas, pessoal, para fazer curvas feitas por ele, tá?
So, I have many, many shaped planes.
Just a minute. Evelyn is reminding me something here. Yeah. You said that you must educate, and you have to have the customer or potential customer intrigued by all the mystery about building furniture and working with wood.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Então,
so
sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
I was going to say this couple that's coming tomorrow to come in my shop, it's like they're coming into my space and they're going to see all these amazing tools and, these sorts of things. And they're going to say, of course we want something.
Okay.
They're not going to leave tomorrow without ordering something. I just know.
Good for you. Então, ele está dizendo, pessoal, que ao mesmo tempo a gente tem que educar o cliente no sentido de explicar como uma peça de mobiliário é feita e, ao mesmo tempo, deixá-lo intrigado, né? Como é que você parte de um pedaço de madeira e chega numa coisa cheia de detalhes, cheia de formas, né? Então, no caso, é um comentário meu, percebam a riqueza de detalhes que a gente vê num trabalho como o dele, né? É uma coisa, assim, realmente fantástica, maravilhosa. Deixa eu ver aqui mais perguntas.
So, Fernando?
Yeah.
I always say, I don't know whether this is different in Brazil or not, but in the US, there's very, very, very few things that we have custom made for us. We don't buy shoes custom made. We don't buy clothes custom made unless you're very, very, very wealthy. You buy things that are made by somebody else and you just buy them. But a piece of furniture, you can come to me and design and build a piece. I can design and build a piece of furniture for you that can last for generations.
Yeah.
And that's worth a lot to explain that to somebody, that they understand that. That's what I'm talking about. It's a different process than just going to a furniture store.
Well, our reality is completely different from yours. As we are what is called developing country, yeah. Look, like our GDP per capita is like 1/8 of yours. Like we have something around $8,000 to $9,000 per year per person, and the American, the United States one is like a 55. So we have a huge difference in terms of the amount of money that people have. So people here, they are more concerned about making a minimum living, and you cannot think a lot about having something special done for you if you are taking care of staying alive, you know.
I totally understand that. And 99.9% of the people that I see and live around are the same way. But the 0.1%, those are the potential clients.
Pessoal, ele falou o seguinte, né? Tem pouquíssima gente nos Estados Unidos, ou você vê muito pouco produto feito especificamente por uma pessoa, ou seja, aquele produto que é preparado, desenhado, produzido para atender uma pessoa especificamente. Então, a imensíssima maioria dos produtos são produtos industrializados. 99,9% das pessoas, né, compra esses produtos. E os 0,1% que não compram esses produtos, que compram produtos específicos para si, esses são os clientes que ele procura. Esses são os clientes que devem ser procurados, tá? Rudinei Meola asks this question. The furniture that I saw in your website are amazing. Could you please make some comments about the process of creating these pieces?
Well, they all start as in sketches, drawings, and I'll develop lots and lots of sketches before I start to build a piece. Rarely does it just sort of happen. And then I often making little models, like this little model, which was useful to teach the client, to show the client.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see what would happen with this, you know, if it got narrower at the ends and curved in and various things. You can't always see that, but it's curved in a lot of directions. I want to see what the leg looked like. It's really different. So that would be the process with drawing, and then maybe making a little model. Well, I don't do a lot of models, but I have done some lately. And then I do full-scale drawings a lot of times, or very accurate scale drawings. And then I work from those. So I try to plan out a lot of it, but some of it I just allow to happen. I don't know exactly 100% of what I'm going to be building, but I have an idea where I'm going.
Okay.
I want it to be fun for me too. So I don't want to have it all just, you know, it has to have some potential that you go this way.
Okay.
If I see freedom. That's a better way to go.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. But it's a process of just developing the ideas and refining the ideas, and then finding the right material for them. What's the right color? What's the right grain? And what's the right, you know, how does it work with this particular design? Like if this chair were made out of figured maple or this figured birch, it would be a very, very different chair, right? If it was made out of this birch, it'd be very, very different. So,
okay.
So it you know, what I say and then you can translate. I say my biggest strength is that I have a designer and I have a maker side to me. And the designer can come up with ideas and the maker can say, those are good ideas, but if you do it this way, it could be so much better and easier to build.
You mean you have this conversation between these two people inside of yourself?
Yes. Well, they're
Okay.
they're both working on it.
Ok. Então, Rudney, a resposta dele, né? Desenha de monte, né? Desenha bastante, muito desenho. Aí, às vezes, ele faz uma maquete, né? E da maquete, e aí a maquete ele falou que ele é muito útil para mostrar para um cliente, e da maquete ele vai para desenhos normalmente em escala 1:1, né? Que ele tem bastante desenhos em escala 1:1. Às vezes não estão em escala 1:1, mas um monte de desenho com detalhes e tal. E que muitas vezes no meio do processo ele quer ter a liberdade de mudar ou a liberdade de explorar, para não ficar preso. Então, ele quer ter liberdade para experimentar coisas. E que uma coisa boa é que ele tem dentro dele duas pessoas. Ele tem o cara que desenha e ele tem o cara que fabrica. E aí o cara que desenha vira para o cara que fabrica e diz, vamos fazer tal coisa. Aí o cara que fabrica vira e diz assim, tem um jeito aqui mais fácil de fazer, que é assim. E aí esse debate, essa conversa entre as duas pessoas que estão dentro dele, produzem o resultado que é visto. Ok?
Did you translate the most important part of that? Is that the maker side of me can sometimes say it's easier and better.
Yeah. I translated it. Okay.
Good.
I said that you have two people inside of yourself. Yeah. And that two of them, they keep on talking to each other, discussing, to get the better result.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It's not easy.
Tá. Ele diz, pessoal, que não é fácil, né? Garrett, só um minuto. Sorry. Garrett, just a minute. I'm gonna tell the guys that you're gonna teach a class, okay? Pessoal, no dia 4 de março, o Garrett vai dar uma aula sobre a escolha e seleção de ferramentas manuais, tá? Para o pessoal que faz parte da comunidade, isso aí está no pacote, né? Ninguém que é da comunidade precisa pagar nada para ter aula. Para quem quiser, quem não for da comunidade quiser ter a aula, ter aí um link com explicação e tal, né? Como é que pode comprar o ingresso. Mas vai ser uma aula sobre qual é o conjunto básico de ferramentas que você deve ter e como é que você seleciona cada uma delas, tá? Deixa eu ver aqui.
That's in a week.
Yeah. A aula vai ser 4 de março, pessoal. Sábado, sem ser esse agora, o outro.
Saturday.
Tá. Fabrício, a sua pergunta sobre as questões do Brasil, quer dizer, é uma pergunta que não adianta a gente fazer para ele, né? Porque ele não tem como responder a isso, né? E se ele ficasse sabendo, quer dizer, ele poderia opinar, mas nada mudaria, né? There is a young guy watching the interview, and he's asking, what are the advices that you give to him? He's starting his career. He's young. Yeah. What
Tell him that
what Garrett would tell him.
I wouldn't say anything different to him. To take it seriously. Maybe he has to make a living by doing something else, but to keep working at it. And if he were here, I teach young people like that for nothing, just to encourage them and to help them.
Okay.
And I've done that for many years.
Bem, ele diz o seguinte: nem que você tenha que ter um outro trabalho para sustentar a tua carreira enquanto ela não decola, né? Mas tudo que foi dito até agora, seguir perseverar na carreira. E ele falou que ele, até hoje, ele ensina pessoas, né, que estão começando na carreira e ele dá ensinamentos de graça para essas pessoas. Tá?
And one other thing I'd add, Fernando, is to slowly accumulate good tools. Because if you have good tools, you'll have them your whole life and they will do good work for you.
Perfect. E ele está dizendo o seguinte, ao longo do tempo, né, à medida que isso for possível, conseguir boas ferramentas, né, e conseguir pouco a pouco boas ferramentas, porque elas vão garantir que você tenha como fazer o seu ofício por anos e anos. Tá?
And you can make some of those tools too, because I know that tools you said were very expensive in Brazil, but you can make some tools that work very, very well.
Tá, e ele falou que você pode fazer você mesmo as suas ferramentas que podem funcionar muito bem, porque ele sabe que as ferramentas são caras no Brasil. Tá? Garrett,
I need to move. I'm getting cold. I need to sit next to my heater.
Okay.
I was in the cold all day today.
Okay. So, Garrett, do you have books written by yourself that are there at your shop that could show us?
Yes, I have books by me, but I don't have them. Yeah, I do.
Well,
I have one here. I have one.
Okay.
I'll show you. This is the first book that I wrote.
Okay.
All about hand planes. It's backwards in your thing there, I think, but it's full of information about planes, and you can buy it digitally, an ebook. But it's full of photographs and explanations about tuning and how to use them, and all the different variety of planes that you'd run across. Now, I wrote that in 1996, so it's I learned a lot since then. But it's the book that people talk about as being the most important book in their library about actually using planes.
Oh, wonderful.
And the other book I wrote is about other tools, saws and chisels, and it's called Classic Hand Tools. And it's a lot about the history of the tools, but it's also about what ones in those groups that are worth knowing about.
Okay. Classic Hand Tools.
Yes. Those are the two books that I read.
Ok. Tá, pessoal, ele então tem um livro sobre planas que ele escreveu em 1996, né? Que é um livro muito comentado, foi esse que ele mostrou, e ele tem outro sobre ferramentas clássicas, ferramentas manuais clássicas, né? Ele diz que o livro de 96, de lá para cá, ele já aprendeu um tanto, mas que é um livro muito comentado, muito usado, né, nos Estados Unidos. Garrett, regarding inspiration, do you have any source of inspiration? Do you have a process to inspire you regarding thinking about and building or designing furniture?
Well, before the pandemic, I would travel a lot. About a third of my time, I was traveling, teaching all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was incredibly inspirational to me, because I would go to museums and I would go and just be different places, and you see different things. So I would say, don't think about inspiration has to come from furniture. It can come from nature. It can come from art. It can come from just being alive and aware. I'm a very, very visual person. If I see something, it gets into my head. If you tell me something, I don't probably remember it.
Okay. This question was from Ronald Coder, okay? A student of us here, a very good student. Então, com relação à pergunta do Ronald, de onde vem a inspiração, né? Ele falou que ele viajava bastante antes e que a inspiração não vem só de marcenaria ou só de mobiliário, ela vem de olhar o mundo todo, de estar aberto para ver as coisas. Ele é um cara muito visual, que se você diz alguma coisa para ele, ele vai esquecer. Agora, se ele ver, ele não vai esquecer. Se ele vir, ele não vai esquecer nunca mais. Tá?
And keep a sketchbook. Keep drawing in a sketchbook. And, if you get some ideas or something, just, try and catch them in a sketch. You have to learn to draw.
Aprender a desenhar e ter um livrinho de rascunho sempre com você para fazer anotações, fazer rabiscos ali de alguma ideia que você teve na hora, né? Leonardo Adriano is asking you if you work by yourself or if you have somebody helping you, or if you had somebody in the past helping you to build furniture.
I've worked essentially by myself because I like to work by myself. Occasionally, my wife will help me if I have something difficult to do that I need two people. I did have a guy working for me for about 3 years, and it was very unusual that I decided to do that. But I think in the end, I didn't make any more money and I didn't make any more furniture because I was doing so much teaching of him and trying to get him going. And so I like working alone because I like to listen to myself and not listen to someone talk. And I want it to be a place where I can concentrate, and I like to work the hours that I work. I don't want to come in here and, work certain hours to keep somebody busy. So I'm very happy working alone.
Ok. Então, ele trabalha sozinho, já teve uma pessoa trabalhando com ele por 3 anos, mas ele fala que ele não fazia dinheiro porque ele gastava boa parte do tempo ensinando, né? E ele gosta de ficar sozinho, de ter o processo todo de criação e produção com ele, e que às vezes a esposa dele o ajuda quando é necessário. Here in Brazil, this person, Rafael Bezerra, is asking you that here in Brazil we have the impression or the idea that woodworkers have a high standard, or that their work is well seen by people in the United States. And it was a surprise for us to know that, or to learn that woodworkers, most of them, have a difficult life in the United States. Could you talk a little more about it?
Okay. I don't know that I would say it's a difficult life. They can make a living, but the people that make a living tend to make things like plywood kitchen cabinets, or that sort of stuff. But to make nice pieces of furniture, one type of furniture or something is much harder. But some people have 2 jobs. They do something else, and then they do furniture and they make some living at it. But I mean, I would say my life has not been hard, but it's been dedicated every day to working on furniture making, I would say. Still, I'm 70 years old and I'm still working every day. I don't work as hard anymore, but I'm still working every day.
Ok. Bem, então, existem pessoas aqui, né, os marceneiros que ganham a vida fazendo, por exemplo, armários, né, armários de cozinha, fazendo cozinhas, esse tipo de coisa. Então, essas pessoas, elas ganham a vida, né, mas não ganham bem, né, porque aí tem a questão de, isso é um comentário meu, o produto não é original, é o que todo mundo está fazendo. Então, ele tem um padrão de vida melhor, mas ele falou que ele está com 70 anos e ele trabalha todos os dias. Então, ele tem que se dedicar à vida como marceneiro para ter a vida que ele tem, né?
Fernando, let me add something to that. That for me, the writing was definitely another way to make a living.
Okay.
To add to my living, and it's been very, very good for me. I'm still writing. I want to do another book, and I write for Fine Woodworking magazine, which You probably know Fine Woodworking Magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably get it. And then the teaching was also very, very good for me.
Ok. Ele também ganha a vida escrevendo, né? Ele está escrevendo um outro livro, ele escreve para Fine Woodworking e ensinar também completa os ganhos dele. Aliás, pessoal, isso é uma coisa que eu já tinha percebido quando eu fiz o curso lá no Canadá. Me disseram que os marceneiros, né, que têm uma vida melhor, normalmente se dividem em fazer peça, ensinar e escrever, né? Rafael Bezerra is asking if lots of American guys, if they have a wood shop in their basement. Is it common?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, is it common? I don't know. 10% of people have shops, or 15%.
Oh, yeah.
It's not everybody by any means. I mean, a lot of people have a shop where they have something that they have a bench to bang on and stuff like that. But in terms of being woodworkers, not that many.
Okay. Is there any wood that you like the most or that you love the most?
There is a wood I love the most, and unfortunately, it's a tree that's got a disease that's been dying for 30 or 40 years. It's called butternut.
Butternut.
It's related to walnut. It's a cousin of walnut. And it's very light colored, and it gets more beautiful with age. I don't know that I have anything in here that I could show you, but there's a piece in my portfolio, a desk called Pahele that's butternut. There's quite a number of pieces of butternut, I think, in my portfolio. I love butternut. It's nice to work. I talked about friendly woods the other day. It's nice to work. It's very stable. It's clear. I might have a piece right here.
Ok. Então, ele tem essa madeira chamada butternut, que está desaparecendo, né, porque tem uma doença atacando. É prima, segundo ele, da nogueira, né, walnut, né? É boa de usinar, é leve, quer dizer, é clara e tal, é linheira, mas está desaparecendo.
I like a lot of woods, really. We have so many beautiful woods here, and a lot of them are friendly. Very, very few of them are gnarly and horrible to work. I don't work them. I stay away from them.
Ele diz que ele gosta de um monte de madeira, né? E existem várias madeiras que são madeiras boas para trabalhar. One of the guys here, Ronald, he asked, he said, it doesn't, your shop is not huge, yeah? You have essential machines. Do you have another space to assemble the pieces, or you do everything there? Yeah.
The only thing I have that you haven't seen is I've got an upstairs. And I've got a lot of wood stored upstairs. It's a cold space. And I've got an office space above, which mostly is for clean storage.
Ok. Bem, ele tem um outro espaço em que tem madeiras, e ele tem também um escritório onde trabalhar. Alzemar is asking, suppose you have something that loves woodworking, but has another job, but wants to do wants to be a real woodworker, okay, without being a professional. What would you tell this person as an advice?
Go take some classes from someone who's really good, that they admire, whose work they admire. Learn how to use hand tools, because you can build a beautiful, beautiful furniture with hand tools and not have to have a lot of machines and dust and various things, especially if you live in a smaller house or something. Again, I'd say the same thing. Keep studying design. So when you're building something that's as beautiful as you can make it. And then just do it. I mean, you just have to dedicate yourself to doing it. There's the younger men that I described, usually they're under 30. That's what I say. I will mentor. The word mentor is familiar to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mentor them under 30. Well, several of them have now become full-time makers and are being successful. And that's really nice. I really appreciate that happens for them.
Ok. Bem, o Garrett respondeu que encontrar uma pessoa com quem estudar, ter ferramentas manuais e usar ferramentas manuais, estudar design e praticar, né? Essa é a receita, Alzemar, para chegar a ser um bom marceneiro, mesmo não sendo um profissional. Well, it's kind of a technical or a different question. Do you dry your lumber yourself?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a kiln dry?
No, I don't have a kiln. But I've been drying my own lumber for 40 plus years. And I dry it outdoors. And then I in open stacks and cover with a roof, because we get rain, and as I'm sure you do, and snow. And then it moves into a barn, or it moves into the top of my shop. And then it eventually moves into my shop. And maybe a month before I build something. And even in the summer, it dries further. And I have a moisture meter, and I don't usually work it until it's at least 9%. And usually this time of year, I'm working with this more like 8% or sometimes 7%.
Okay.
So we have a similar thing to what you have in Brazil, but I think we're not quite as moist as you are.
Yeah, we have more moisture here, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Bem,
Well,
ele seca a própria... Sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
I was going to say we get very humid summers. So it's possible that that our humidity is different. So I can air dry wood to 12%. That's the best I can do. And then when I get it into my shop, then it starts to drop down.
Ok. Ele seca a própria madeira, né? Seca em um local coberto, né? E aí depois, à medida que o processo, ele não tem estufa, à medida que o processo de secagem se dá, ele move essa madeira para a parte de cima, e um mês antes dele usar a madeira, ele tira da parte de cima da oficina dele e põe para a parte de baixo. Ele não usa madeira com umidade superior a 9%, e na época do inverno, por exemplo, que é mais seco, ele trabalha com madeiras na casa de 8% até 7%. Tá?
Getting tired of holding it.
Sorry, say again?
I wanted to set it up. I don't want to hold it anymore.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, drying your wood is very important.
Ele está dizendo que secar a madeira é importantíssimo.
And also, the fact that I can get a whole tree and then cut it up means that I've got an advantage when I start to build a piece of furniture, because all the color will be the same and the structure of the wood will be the same, and it's an advantage.
Ele diz que é uma vantagem ele poder ele mesmo cortar a própria madeira, porque aí ele, né, você tem a mesma cor, vem da mesma peça de madeira, da mesma árvore. Isso é uma vantagem. There is a technical question. A guy that loves machines, he is talking about your bandsaw. He said, is there any specific characteristic from this machine? It seems a little different from the ones that we have here in Brazil, that assures stability or for this machine. Would you consider something special in its way of being built that assures that it's precise and stable and so on?
I would say, I don't know what your bandsaws are like, but what's good about it is it's extremely heavy, and it's cast iron, so that it doesn't move, it doesn't flex.
Okay.
and I tension the blade way up. No, I would say it's just a very heavy old machine. It's the fact that it's American machine, or it could be Italian, it could be other things, but it's just what it is.
Tá, o que ele diz que tem de especial na serra é que ela é feita de ferro fundido, esses tanques de guerra, né, antigos que existem aí, né, e que ele também trabalha com a serra bem intencionada, né? Is there any piece of furniture that you have built that you wouldn't sell for any money?
Nope.
Então, Rafael, ele venderia todas as peças, não tem nenhuma que ele não venderia.
Now, I have given pieces to my wife that we live with that I can't sell, but I have no problem selling a piece of furniture because I'm going to make another one and it's going to be better.
Wonderful question. Bem, existem peças que ele deu para a esposa dele, essas ele não venderia, mas ele venderia qualquer peça que ele faz, porque depois ele poderia fazer outra e ficaria melhor até. Well, Savio Gava is asking you if what's your opinion about using equipment like CNC machines and CAD programs, software. What's your opinion about it?
Well, you have to understand that I am not a production furniture maker. I did production once upon a time. I did like production turning, where you turn spindles and you do 80 of them. Or I've done, 8 chairs or something like that. But I generally do not like to do that. I have a very bad business model. I reinvent the wheel with every project. Okay, so I am not a good one to ask about that. I would probably never use a CNC machine because it's just, it doesn't appeal to me.
Ok. Bem, Sávio, ele nunca usaria CNC, porque, bem, ele não tem produção seriada, ele falou que ele já fez peças torneadas, já fez cadeiras e mais de 8 cadeiras de uma vez, mas ele não gostou disso. Ele não gosta, ele falou que ele tem um péssimo modelo de negócios, né? Mas é o que ele gosta de fazer. Então, ele nunca utilizaria CNC ou programas de CAD. Tá?
So let me add something to that. I am also a maker that doesn't use a lot of jigs. I probably have 3 jigs in my shop because I just don't make jigs. I pick up a tool and do the job with the tool. A jig might be something that I have to hold apart at some alignment to my mortiser, but then I throw it away because I'm probably never going to use it again. So, much more immediate. I say if I want to get to C, I go A, B, C with a tool. I don't go A, D, make a jig, E, make another jig, and then use it to get to B. I'm very, very different than Michael Fortune that way. He makes 36 jigs to do something. I'll make 1 jig.
I'm laughing because one of the T-shirts that he wore here, I have a jig for every problem.
He does. He probably had that made specifically. No, I don't dislike jigs, but I rather use a tool to get the job done directly.
Ok. Bem, ele falou também que ele usa pouquíssimos gabaritos. Ele falou que tem 3, né? E ele prefere fazer com ferramentas manuais, né?
Just like sharpening. I don't use a jig to sharpen. I just sharpen.
Tá, ele não usa gabarito para afiar, ele afia sem gabarito, né?
And anybody can learn that.
E qualquer um pode aprender isso. Well, it's getting late. I will ask 2 more questions, okay?
Okay, good.
Because I think you must rest too. Yeah.
I haven't had dinner yet.
Oh man, so you are starving.
I'm starving, but I'm okay. We don't normally eat till now anyway. We usually eat about a half an hour ago.
Oh, sorry for that.
It's
sorry.
okay. And I'm also the cook.
Oh, really?
Well, not always,
Oh.
but lately I am. My wife broke her wrist,
Ok.
so she
Ok.
can't use it very much.
Ok. Pessoal, então, olha, já passou meia hora do horário dele jantar. A esposa dele quebrou o pulso. Ele é o cozinheiro. Então, vou fazer mais duas perguntas e encerrar aqui a...
It's okay. We're going to have a really good dinner. I already
good.
planned. I planned ahead.
Uh-huh. When you started your career, have you always focused on this 0.1% customers? You know, the 0.1% of the population. So did you have the chance of meeting these guys, or were you focusing to work with these guys?
Early on, I was doing whatever woodworking I could do. And that meant sometimes doing a kitchen or doing architectural work. I did stairs. I did fancy turnings for, like, on top of posts. I did like finials, I'm calling them. I don't know if that's the same word you'd use in Portuguese. I did repairs for people. I did simple work that I could get paid for, but get the skills and get paid. And it was only after maybe 10 years or 15 years that it started to come to much, much, much better furniture. More commissions where there was enough money to build a nice piece. And that's the way it's been now for 25 years.
Então, no começo, ele fazia o que fosse necessário para viver. Então, ele fez restauração, né? Quer dizer, reparo, fez cozinha, fez o que aparecia, né? Fazia escada, fazia armário, né? Isso durou aí 10, 15 anos, mais de 10, 15 anos do começo da carreira para cá. Aí ele começou a ganhar mais, ganhar melhor, e nos últimos 25 anos a carreira dele tem sido se dedicar a fazer peças da forma como ele faz hoje, tá?
And Fernando, let me add something to that. I still do repairs once in a while if there are really good pieces of furniture. I can do a museum quality repair if the piece is worth it. I just had 4 Nakashima chairs in here. You know the name Nakashima?
Yeah, for sure.
And Barnsley, Edward Barnsley, I've had pieces of his. He was a very, very good English maker. I've had several pieces of his in my shop over the years. So, and I've got a reputation for doing that kind of thing. So sometimes that comes to me.
Tá. Bem, ele ainda faz algumas restaurações, né, quando aparece um serviço bom. Então, ele, por exemplo, ele reparou cadeiras, 4 cadeiras feitas pelo George Nakashima. Ele reparou peças de um marceneiro inglês, eu não entendi o nome, não conheço, né? Mas ele falou que faz, né? Porque ele tem uma reputação de fazer um bom trabalho de restauração, tá? Vamos ver a última aqui. Do you have any hobby?
Oh, yes, of course. Which we have not talked about is I'm a farmer.
Yep.
And I spend a lot of time at my farming because I do it the way I do by woodworking, with a horse for power. And we have a cow. Usually we have a cow and a calf, and we have chickens, and I grow many, many different things that feed us. I work in the woods in the winter, cutting the fuel that we burn to heat our house and my shop. And I used to get out lumber, but I don't do that anymore because I don't need any more lumber from the woods. I ski in the winter, at least a day a week, which is probably something so foreign to you, but it's what we do in this in this part of the world when it's cold. I do hiking. I've got a varied life, but the woodworking is always there. Every day I'm involved with it in some way, shape, or form, because I love to come into my shop and work on something. You know, I love the creativity. So the farming is very, very important to me. And if anything, since the pandemic, that's been a bigger focus, and that's the way it's going to be going forward.
Yeah, I can understand it totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bem, ele falou que ele trabalha com a fazenda, ele esquia, ele faz caminhadas, né? Mas mesmo a marcenaria ele vê como um hobby, porque é importantíssimo na vida dele, ele faz todos os dias. Eu acho que
As pinturas das peças, eu acho que isso é uma coisa.
Wait, Fernando, can I add something?
Yeah, for sure.
So right now our farm is a little bit in transition because I bought a young horse.
Uh-huh.
And I'm training him to take over for my older horse.
Oh, yeah.
Who is not able to do all the work, the summer work, which is the hardest work. He just not able to do. I don't think he's going to be able to do it this summer. So I'm training a young horse. So that is also a huge deal, to train a young horse.
Okay.
To become a partner that I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue working with a horse, but he's going to be my partner for the rest of my farming life.
Ok. Bem, ele está também treinando um cavalo mais novo, porque o cavalo que ele tem atualmente, né, já tem bastante tempo de trabalho, né, então não é mais capaz de fazer o trabalho, especialmente no verão, que é um trabalho mais pesado. Então ele está fazendo isso, né, treinando um cavalo mais novo para poder continuar o trabalho na fazenda, né? Pessoal, vamos lá. Eu vou fazer uma...
Ele que tem monte de perguntas.
We have lots of questions here, but unhappily we must stop. Yeah.
We need two interviews. We need to have another interview.
Yeah. Ele está dizendo, pessoal, para a gente fazer uma outra entrevista. Garrett, sorry, go ahead.
You can see that I love woodworking. I love to talk about it and help people if I can to become successful.
Yeah. Well, maybe I will have a suggestion to address the questions in another moment. Okay, but I'm gonna discuss this suggestion with you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell something in Portuguese to the guys, né? Então, pessoal, só para lembrar, né? Pessoal que é da comunidade, sem ser esse sábado agora, no outro, o Garrett vai estar dando uma aula ao vivo no sábado, a partir de 1h da tarde, né? Horário nosso aqui do Brasil, né? E sobre ferramentas manuais, né? Sobre que ferramentas você deve ter e como selecionar cada uma dessas ferramentas, né? Então, uma lista de ferramentas básicas, e ele vai dizer, como é que você escolhe uma plana, assim, assim, assim e tal, e vai mostrar isso na prática, lá na bancada dele e tal, né? Para quem é associado. Para quem não for associado, aí a gente vai ter um ingresso, tem instruções sobre como comprar ingresso e tal, para poder assistir a aula, tá? Garrett, thank you very much for your time, for being starving now, yeah, and
hey, thank you for your interest.
Oh man, it's you can't imagine the size of the pleasure that we are having the chance of being with you and asking all those questions and learning a lot with you and your career. Okay.
Thank you. Well, Fernando, I'm glad to do more, and if this class is a success and it works, then you decide.
Oh, I hope to have you here in Brazil maybe next year. Who knows? Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't wait too long. I'm getting older.
Well, everybody is, but
I know.
You are improving year by year. Okay.
I am improving, and I'm still, very energetic, which is good.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are. It's written in your words. It's written in everything that you do, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming.
Que é?
Pedir desculpa à esposa
Oh,
dele, que a gente sempre
Evelyn,
fala ele.
Evelyn is telling me to ask to beg your pardon for your wife to beg her pardon for holding you here. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We planned. We planned.
Thank you so
Um,
much. Thank you.
It's okay. We get lots of good things to eat, and we'll just be fine.
Okay. Well, we have been talking since I think 2018 or 2019. Yeah. And I do hope to have the chance of bringing you to Brazil so that we can teach us here. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I would like to come if we can work it out.
Wonderful. Pessoal, eu
Okay.
tenho conversado com o Garrett desde 2018, né? Para ver se a gente tem a oportunidade de trazê-lo ao Brasil, né? Para dar curso aqui. Vamos ver se ano que vem a gente consegue trazê-lo, tá bom? Muito obrigado a todos, né, por terem assistido. E, pessoal, aqueles que têm perguntas que não foram respondidas, tá? As perguntas estão aqui e eu estou pensando num jeito de encaminhá-las ao Garrett para ele respondê-las e eu conseguir as respostas e encaminhá-las a vocês. Tá bom? Então, uma boa noite mais uma vez e muito obrigado. Tá? Tchau, tchau. Garrett, bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fernando.
Bye.
And Evelyn too.
Oh.
Okay,
And-
thank you.
And is it Johan? No,
João.
your digital guy,
João. João.
Johan.
Yeah.
I want to write that down. I'll get it. Okay.
Thank you.
I
Bye-bye.
hear bad weather coming.
Yeah.
We're getting sleet. You probably never even heard of sleet.
Yeah, I know what it means. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Okay. Take care. Take
Okay.
care.
Good night.
Good night too.